The quantum arrays aboard the ESS Hyperion hummed with an unusual frequency that Dr. Sarah Chen hadn't encountered in her 15 years of deep space research. The signal was unlike anything in human records, a pattern that seemed to defy the laws of quantum mechanics themselves. "Captain Reynolds," she called out, her eyes fixed on the streaming data. "I think you need to see this." Captain James Reynolds crossed the bridge of humanity's most advanced research vessel, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic displays. The Hyperion had been tasked with mapping quantum signatures at the edge of known space, but this was something entirely different. "Talk to me, Dr. Chen. What are we looking at?" Sarah's fingers danced across the haptic interface, bringing up multiple visualization layers. "It's a quantum signal, but it's structured. Too structured to be natural. The complexity suggests artificial origin, but it's using principles we barely understand." Reynolds leaned closer, his military training making him cautious. "Artificial? Are you saying we're picking up alien communications?" "Not exactly," Sarah replied, highlighting a particular pattern sequence. "This signal exists in a quantum state that shouldn't be possible according to our understanding of physics. It's like finding a book written in a language that uses colors we can't see." The bridge crew fell silent, the implications of her words settling over them like a heavy blanket. First Officer Maya Patel spoke up from her station. "Could it be a natural phenomenon we haven't encountered before?" Sarah shook her head. "The pattern repeats with variations that suggest information encoding. Nature doesn't communicate in quantum encryption." Reynolds straightened, years of first contact protocols flooding his mind. "How long has it been transmitting?" "That's the thing, Captain," Sarah said, pulling up another display. "According to these readings, this signal has been repeating for at least 100,000 years. We're just now able to detect it because we finally developed quantum array technology advanced enough to sense it." The captain's expression hardened. "A message in a bottle, floating in the quantum foam of space for longer than human civilization, has existed. The question is, who left it and why?" Before anyone could respond, the ship's AI, interrupted. "Captain, I'm detecting unusual gravitational fluctuations in the region. The signal appears to be originating from a point in space that doesn't match our stellar cartography." "Explain," Reynolds commanded. "The coordinates suggest empty space, but gravitational readings indicate a massive object should be present. It's as if something is there, but hidden." Sarah's eyes widened as she processed this information. "Captain, I think the signal isn't just a message. It's a key." Reynolds studied the main viewport, where stars glittered against the void. Whatever they'd stumbled upon, humanity's first steps into a larger universe were about to become a giant leap. "Dr. Chen, can we interact with this signal? Respond somehow?" Sarah's fingers flew over her console. "The quantum state is incredibly delicate. Any attempt to interact could collapse it. But," she paused, an idea forming, "we might be able to mirror its pattern using our quantum arrays. Not exactly responding, but showing we can understand its complexity." Reynolds nodded slowly. "Do it. But Dr. Chen," he added as she began preparations, "if this is first contact, let's make sure we don't accidentally insult anyone." The next hours were tense as Sarah and her team worked to align the Hyperion's quantum arrays. The ship's AI assisted, processing calculations faster than any human could, while the crew waited with bated breath. Just as they prepared to mirror the signal, Aria's voice cut through the anticipation. "Captain, the gravitational anomaly is changing. Something's happening." The viewport suddenly filled with light as space itself seemed to fold. Where empty void had been moments before, a massive structure shimmered into existence, a geometric shape that defied earthly architecture, its surface covered in patterns that pulsed with the same quantum frequency as the signal. "My God," Sarah whispered, her scientific detachment momentarily forgotten. "It's not just a message or a key. It's a door." Reynolds straightened in his chair, knowing that humanity's next actions would echo through history. "All hands to stations," he ordered. "Whatever left this signal might not have meant it for humans, but we're here now. Let's show them we were worth finding it." The Hyperion hung in space before the massive alien structure, humanity's first ambassador to whatever lay beyond. The signal that had guided them here continued its ancient broadcast, but now it seemed less like a message and more like an invitation, one that humanity had just proven themselves worthy to accept. The alien structure's surface rippled with quantum patterns, each pulse sending cascades of data through the Hyperion sensors. Dr. Sarah Chen had never seen anything so beautiful or so terrifying. The sheer computational power required to maintain such a quantum state was beyond anything humanity had achieved. Analysis complete, Araya announced, her artificial voice tinged with what almost sounded like awe. "The structure appears to be composed of exotic matter, maintaining a stable quantum field that defies our current understanding of physics." Captain Reynolds stood at the viewport, watching the massive construct shimmer. "Dr. Chen, what are we learning from those patterns?" Sarah studied the streaming data, her mind racing to comprehend what she was seeing. "The quantum signals are transforming. It's like they're adapting to our presence, becoming more complex, but also more accessible." "Accessible how?" First Officer Patel asked, moving to join them. "The patterns are shifting to match our quantum array's frequency range," Sarah explained. "It's as if the structure is trying to meet us halfway, adjusting its communication to something our technology can process." Reynolds frowned. "That suggests intelligence. Active intelligence, not just automated responses." "Sir," the tactical officer called out, "we're detecting energy buildups within the structure. Non-aggressive signature, but power levels are off the charts." Before Reynolds could respond, the quantum patterns changed dramatically. The structure's surface erupted in a display of mathematical sequences, prime numbers, geometric ratios, and fundamental physical constants. "It's a primer," Sarah breathed, her fingers flying over her console. "Just like we theorized for first contact scenarios. They're establishing a mathematical foundation for communication." The bridge crew watched in amazement as complex equations began forming in the space between the Hyperion and the structure, rendered in quantum states that seemed to hover in the void. "Dr. Chen," Reynolds said quietly, "can we respond?" Sarah nodded slowly. "Araya and I have been working on adapting our quantum arrays. We can mirror their mathematical sequences, show we understand." "Do it." The Hyperion's quantum arrays hummed to life, projecting their own sequence of mathematical constants. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the structure's patterns shifted again, this time forming what appeared to be three-dimensional star maps. "Captain," Araya interrupted, "I'm detecting similarities between these star patterns and ancient astronomical data. These maps appear to be millions of years old." Sarah's eyes widened as she processed the implications. The message wasn't meant for us. It was meant for whoever built this structure, whoever they were expecting to return. "But they found us instead," Reynolds mused. "Question is, do we qualify as acceptable recipients?" The answer came in a surge of new data, as the structure began transmitting detailed scientific knowledge. Secrets of quantum mechanics that made Earth's most advanced theories look primitive by comparison. "This is incredible," Sarah said, her voice trembling with excitement. "They're not just communicating, they're teaching, showing us how to understand technologies we haven't even dreamed of yet." First Officer Patel leaned over Sarah's shoulder, studying the data. But why? Why share this knowledge with a species that wasn't even supposed to find it? Before anyone could theorize, Araya's voice cut through the excitement. "Captain, detecting multiple gravitational distortions. Something's coming through hyperspace." The bridge erupted into activity as spatial distortions appeared around them. Reynolds snapped into action. "Battle stations, ray shields, power to defensive systems." "Sir," the tactical officer reported, "3 vessels emerging. Configuration unknown, heavily armed." The new arrivals emerged fully into normal space, sleek, predatory ships that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Their design was completely alien, but their aggressive positioning left little doubt about their intentions. "They're scanning both us and the structure," AIA reported. "Energy signatures suggest weapons powering up." Reynolds' jaw tightened. "Seems we're not the only ones who noticed this signal. Dr. Chen, keep working on that data. Whatever knowledge this structure is sharing, I have a feeling we're going to need it." "Sir," Sarah said, her voice urgent, "the structure's transmissions are accelerating. It's like it's trying to give us something before." Her words cut off as the lead alien vessel fired a beam of concentrated energy, not at the Hyperion, but at the structure itself. The quantum patterns flickered as the beam struck an invisible barrier. "They're trying to destroy it," Reynolds realized, "to prevent us from receiving whatever message it's sending." Sarah's console erupted with new data as the structure's transmission reached a fever pitch. "Captain, I think I understand now. This isn't just a library or a message. It's a test." Reynolds watched as the hostile ships moved to surround them. "A test of what?" "Of whether we're worthy of protecting it," Sarah replied, her eyes fixed on the streaming quantum data. "The original recipients never came, but we did. And now we have to prove we deserve what we found." The Hyperion hung in space between the ancient structure and the hostile vessels, humanity's first deep space research vessel, about to become humanity's first line of defense for knowledge that could change the course of civilization itself. The hostile ship's weapons charged with an ominous purple glow, their intent clear as they maintained their attack formation around the Hyperion and the ancient structure. Captain Reynolds watched the tactical display, his mind racing through options as humanity faced its first interstellar conflict. 3 minutes until their weapons reach full charge, AIA reported. "Their technology significantly exceeds our offensive capabilities." "We're not here to fight," Reynolds responded, his voice steady. "We're here to learn. Dr. Chen, what's the status of that data transmission?" Sarah's fingers danced across her console, her face illuminated by streams of quantum equations. "The structure is transmitting faster now, but it's not random. The data, it's showing us something about its defensive systems. Can we use it?" First Officer Patel asked, moving to Sarah's station. "Maybe. The quantum field protecting the structure, it's not just a shield. It's a geometric pattern that repeats across multiple dimensions. If we could align our shields to match." A blast of energy from the lead alien ship cut through space, testing the structure's defenses. The quantum field flickered but held. "They're trying to find a weakness," Reynolds observed. "Dr. Chen, whatever you're going to do it fast." Sarah worked frantically with AIA, their combined human intuition and computational power racing to decode the structure's defensive principles. "Captain, I think we can extend the structure's quantum field to encompass the Hyperion. But we'll have to drop our conventional shields to do it." Reynolds watched as another blast struck the structure's defenses. "How long will we be vulnerable?" 3 seconds to realign our quantum arrays. After that, Sarah shook her head. "Either we'll be protected by technology millions of years beyond ours, or we'll be dead." The captain's jaw tightened. "Those ships out there, they're not just trying to destroy the structure. They want to prevent anyone else from accessing its knowledge. The question is why?" As if in answer, the hostile vessels began moving in perfect formation, their weapons systems linking to form a concentrated beam. "They're combining their firepower," the tactical officer reported. "Impact in 30 seconds. Reynolds straightened in his chair. "Dr. Chen, do it. Drop shields and initiate quantum field alignment." "Sir," Patel interjected, "if this doesn't work, then humanity's first contact will be our last." Reynolds finished. "But if we run now, we'll never forgive ourselves." "Dr. Chen." Sarah nodded, her fingers moving across the controls. "Dropping conventional shields. Beginning quantum array alignment. Now." The Hyperion shuddered as its defensive systems powered down. For 3 terrifying seconds, the research vessel hung completely vulnerable in space. The hostile ship's combined weapon reached full charge, its purple glow casting eerie shadows across the bridge. Quantum field alignment in 3, 2, 1. The enemy vessels fired their combined weapon just as Sarah activated the new defensive configuration. A brilliant beam of energy lanced toward the Hyperion, only to scatter harmlessly across a geometric pattern that shimmered into existence around the ship. "It worked," Sarah exclaimed. "We're integrated with the structure's defensive field." But their success revealed something unexpected. As the Hyperion's sensors adapted to the quantum field, they detected new information embedded in the attack itself. "Captain," Araya announced, "I'm analyzing the enemy weapon signature. It matches technological principles contained in the structure's database. These ships, they've encountered this knowledge before." Reynolds' eyes narrowed. "They're not trying to destroy it because they fear it. They're trying to destroy it because they know exactly what it can do." Before he could elaborate, the structure's transmission pattern changed again. New data flowed into the Hyperion's computers, but this time it wasn't theoretical physics or quantum mechanics. "These are tactical files," Sarah said, her voice filled with wonder. "The structure, it's teaching us how to fight back." The hostile ships regrouped, preparing for another attack. But now the Hyperion's displays filled with battle strategies developed by civilizations long extinct, weapons designs that could be adapted to human technology, and defense systems that could be implemented with their existing resources. "They're not just testing if we can protect the knowledge," Reynolds realized. "They're testing if we can use it responsibly." Sarah looked up from her console. "Captain, I can retrofit our quantum arrays based on these specifications. We won't match their firepower, but we might be able to show them something they've never seen before." "How long?" 5 minutes. "But sir," she hesitated, "this technology, these principles, they are beyond anything humanity has achieved. Using them will change us forever." Reynolds watched as the enemy ships began another attack pattern. "Humanity stepped into a larger universe. The moment we detected that signal, Doctor. Now we prove we belong here." The Hyperion systems hummed with new energy as Sarah and Araya worked to implement the ancient knowledge, while the hostile ships pressed their attack. Humanity's first deep space research vessel was about to become something else entirely, a defender of knowledge that could reshape civilization itself, facing an enemy that would do anything to keep that knowledge buried in the quantum depths of space. The Hyperion's quantum arrays pulsed with newfound power as Dr. Sarah Chen completed the final modifications. Ancient knowledge flowed through the ship's systems, transforming human technology into something that straddled the line between science and miracle. "Implementation complete," Araya announced. "New defensive configurations are stable. Offensive capabilities at 90%. Captain Reynolds studied the tactical display, where the 3 hostile ships maintained their attack formation. "Dr. Chen, what exactly did we just do to my ship?" Sarah's eyes remained fixed on her console, monitoring the quantum fluctuations. "We've reconfigured our arrays to match principles encoded in the structure's database. The technology is millions of years old, but it's designed to be adaptive." "Adaptive how?" First Officer Patil asked. "It's like," Sarah searched for the right words, "like it's teaching us to speak its language using our own vocabulary. We're not copying their technology. We're learning how to evolve our own." The enemy vessels suddenly shifted position, their hulls rippling with dark energy. "They're powering up something new," the tactical officer reported. "Energy signature is off the charts." "They recognize what we're doing," Reynolds realized. "They know we've started to understand the structure's knowledge." The lead hostile ship released a burst of energy unlike anything they'd seen before, a wave of distorted space-time that rippled toward the Hyperion like a tsunami through the void. "Impact in 10 seconds, Araya warned. Conventional defenses would be useless against this form of attack." Sarah's fingers flew across her console. "The structure is transmitting new data, equations I've never seen before. Captain, I think I know what this test really is. 5 seconds to impact. Trust me, Sarah said, her voice steady as she input the final calculations. We're not supposed to fight them. We're supposed to show them something new. As the wave of distorted space-time reached the Hyperion, Sarah activated her modified quantum arrays. Instead of attempting to block or deflect the attack, the ship's defensive field began to resonate with it, creating a harmony of quantum frequencies that transformed the destructive energy into a complex pattern of light and mathematics. The hostile ships froze in their positions. They'd stopped charging weapons, the tactical officer reported, confusion evident in his voice. Because we just proved we understand, Sarah said softly. Captain, the structure wasn't looking for warriors to protect its knowledge. It was looking for students who could build upon it. Reynolds leaned forward. Explain. These ships, their attacks, they're using technology derived from the structure's database. But they're using it the way it was written, following the original principles exactly. We just demonstrated the ability to take those principles and innovate. As if confirming her theory, the structure's quantum patterns shifted again. This time, the transmission wasn't just data. It was a message, rendered in crystalline clarity through their enhanced systems. The through those who create, not those who preserve. The hostile ships began to power down their weapons. A new signal cut through space, a transmission in a language that ARIA quickly decoded. They're requesting communication, Captain, ARIA reported. Their tone suggests respect. Reynolds straightened in his chair. Put them through. The view screen shimmed to life, revealing beings that seemed to be composed of crystalline structures and flowing energy. Their form was utterly alien, yet their posture conveyed clear meaning. We are the Guardians, the alien commander's words translated through ARIA's enhanced systems. For millennia, we have protected this knowledge from those who would merely copy it, waiting for those who could truly understand it. You were testing us, Reynolds stated. We were. Many have found this structure. Many have attempted to claim its knowledge. But you, the alien's crystalline form shifted in what might have been appreciation. You did not merely accept its teachings. You transformed them, advanced them. This is what the precursors sought, not servants to preserve their legacy, but children to grow it. Sarah stepped forward. The structure's builders, they're gone. They transcended physical form eons ago, the Guardian confirmed. But they left behind seeds of knowledge across the galaxy, waiting for species with the potential to nurture those seeds into new growth. You have proven yourselves worthy not just of learning, but of teaching. Reynolds processed this information. And now, what happens to this knowledge, to this structure? Now, the Guardian's form pulsed with new energy. You join us. Not as subordinates, but as equals. The precursor's knowledge is yours to study, to enhance, to share with others who prove worthy. This was their vision. A galaxy of diverse minds building upon each other's discoveries, creating wonders that even they could not imagine. The bridge crew sat in stunned silence as the implications washed over them. Humanity hadn't just made first contact or discovered advanced technology. They had inherited a legacy of cosmic significance. Captain, Sarah said quietly, the structure is still transmitting. But the patterns, they're different now, more complex, like it's revealing deeper layers of knowledge. Reynolds nodded slowly. Then we'd better get to work, Doctor. It seems we have a lot to learn, and even more to create. The Hyperion hung in space alongside the Guardian vessels, its quantum arrays now humming with newfound purpose. Before them, the ancient structure continued its transmission, not just sharing knowledge now, but inviting humanity to add its own chapters to a story billions of years in the making. 1 month after the encounter with the ancient structure, the Hyperion floated in high Earth orbit, its quantum arrays still humming with power that defied conventional physics. In the ship's main conference room, Captain Reynolds stood before a gathering of Earth's highest-ranking officials, his crew arrayed behind him. The structure wasn't just a library or a test. He explained to the assembled leaders. It was an invitation, one that humanity never knew it was waiting for. Dr. Sarah Chen stepped forward, bringing up a holographic display of the quantum patterns they'd discovered. The precursors left these repositories of knowledge throughout the galaxy, each one waiting for species capable of not just understanding their technology, but improving upon it. The room stirred with murmurs as Sarah manipulated the display, showing how human quantum theory had already begun evolving beyond the original principles the structure had taught them. In just 1 month, she continued, we've made advances that would have taken centuries. But more importantly, we've started developing applications the precursors themselves never conceived of. First Officer Patil activated another display, showing the modifications they'd made to the Hyperion. Our ship is proof of what happens when human creativity meets advanced knowledge. We didn't just copy their technology. We transformed it. One of the assembled leaders leaned forward. And these Guardians, they've accepted us. More than that, Reynolds replied. They've invited us to join them as equals. The precursors didn't want servants or soldiers. They wanted inheritors who could take their legacy in new directions. The holographic displays shifted to show the vast network of similar structures scattered throughout the galaxy, each one holding different aspects of precursor knowledge. But with this knowledge comes responsibility, Reynolds continued. Other species will find these structures, just as we did. Some will be ready for the knowledge. Others won't. Our role now is to help guide them, just as the Guardians guided us. Sarah brought up new data, showing the quantum frequencies they detected since their return. We're already picking up signals from other structures. Some have been found by species as curious and innovative as humanity. Others. She paused, letting the implications sink in. We're not alone anymore, Reynolds stated firmly. And we're not just passive observers. The precursors chose us, not because we were the most advanced, but because we showed the potential to become something more. The room fell silent as the magnitude of humanity's new role settled over the assembled leaders. They had started this journey as explorers, seeking knowledge among the stars. Now they had become guardians themselves, protectors of a legacy that stretched across millions of years. There's more, Sarah added, her expression both excited and serious. The quantum principles we've learned, they're just the beginning. The structure's database contains references to technologies that could reshape our understanding of reality itself. But it's not giving us the answers. It's teaching us to ask the right questions. Reynolds nodded. That's why the signal wasn't meant for humans originally. It was meant for whoever could prove themselves worthy of not just receiving knowledge, but advancing it. We qualified not because we were the intended recipients, but because we showed we could be something more. The displays shifted again, showing the modifications already being implemented across Earth's fleet. Ships were being upgraded with quantum technology that blended human innovation with precursor principles, creating something entirely new. The Guardians don't want us to abandon our own development, Sarah explained. They want us to take what we've learned and make it our own. Every species that proves worthy adds their own chapter to this cosmic legacy. First Officer Patel stepped forward. We've already begun detecting signals from other structures, each containing different aspects of precursor knowledge. Some focus on biology, others on consciousness itself. The galaxy is filled with their teachings, waiting for species ready to learn and to teach. Reynolds turned to face the assembled leaders directly. Humanity's next step isn't just about exploration or advancement. It's about becoming part of something greater, a network of civilizations all building upon each other's discoveries, creating wonders that even the precursors couldn't imagine. The room erupted in discussion as the implications became clear. Humanity hadn't just made first contact or acquired advanced technology. They had been chosen to become part of a grand design, one that spanned millions of years and countless civilizations. The signal wasn't meant for humans, Reynolds concluded, but we answered it anyway. And in doing so, we prove that sometimes the best qualified aren't always the intended recipients. The Hyperion continued its orbit around Earth, its quantum arrays now tuned to frequencies that could detect similar signals across the galaxy. In the vast darkness of space, other structures waited, each holding pieces of knowledge that could reshape civilization itself. And humanity, guided by curiosity and driven by innovation, was ready to help write the next chapters in an epic that had begun long before Earth's first civilizations had looked up at the stars and dreamed of reaching them.